Hey there, y'all. I'm Juliette Miranda, and welcome to Bourbon Soak Live, the best place to be on a Monday night for cocktails and conversation. And David, the producer.
Not the best place to be, the only place to be, damn it.
Very, very true. So here, y'all, we're going to be talking about the 70s tonight, and I am so stupid excited about this. Y'all have no idea, and I'm channeling my inner 70s goddess right now. How about you, David, the producer? What are you doing?
Show me your bell bottoms.
Oh, y'all got to see these suckers. Look at that
that
flare.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's like Ric Flair.
I love these things. And what's crazy is they're back in style right now.
I can't believe it.
Corduroy flares. Who knew?
Boo.
You love these.
Hey, say hi to the
You
people
don't
who
have to
joined
wear
us.
them.
I do love them. I mean, they look great on you.
Uh-huh. So let's say hello to everybody hanging out with us in the chat. Our wrestling hero, Guardian of Chaos, gets the nod for being first in the chat. So cheers to you, sir. I know Rex Gunn has been hanging out. Charles Ashworth is here, and he claims to be wearing pants. I don't know confirmation on that yet, but we'll see. I believe we have Zach Zanford joining us as well. And to all of you who are lurking, get in the fucking chat and say hello.
Did you not say hi to Rex Gunn?
I said hello to Rex Gunn.
Oh, well, then you forgot Patrick Fulmer.
And Patrick Fulmer. Hello, y'all. It's great for you. Great to see y'all.
He says Foxy Lady and David. Great. I'm like the afterthought. It's like, hey, that hot broad and him.
And David, the producer.
Right? Boo.
Oh, but you're cute too.
How come I'm never the hot chick? Wait, what was that?
You want to rephrase that?
I just might want to.
I think you want to. Good Lord, y'all.
Always the bridesmaid.
I see Nancy Jones has joined us as well. Thanks for being here, Nancy. So you can't have cocktails and conversation without cocktails. So what do you say we talk a little bit about the bourbon of the week?
Yeah.
I am drinking Knob Creek 12-year straight bourbon whiskey, and it's 100 proof. And y'all, this is a seriously fine bourbon. For the past couple of weeks, I've been drinking these real easy sippers, you know, the stuff that just goes down like water. This definitely has some legs to it. Whew,
yeah, that one's not an easy sipper.
I'm not saying it's not an easy sipper. It's a delicious one, but it's not one that you knock back.
Oh, God, no. Well, it will knock you right back if you knock it back.
So here's the deal with this one, y'all. Like I said, it's a 12-year bourbon, which is a little bit of a rarity on the market as far as, you know, accessibility goes. One of the most readily available higher aged bourbons would be like the 10-year from Russell's Reserve. You don't really see these that often. And this is amazingly, really, really good. The oak is very forward in this, and there's definitely a lot of kick from rye. So the mash bill is 75% corn, 13% rye, and 12% malted barley. And I really taste the rye in this. It's got that peppery sort of flavor to it, and all that time in the barrel. It really tastes woody, but delicious.
Yeah, why don't you show them the bottle?
Oh,
because
who
I don't
wants
have
to
a
see
picture.
a bottle?
Well, I didn't have a picture, so I got real busy today.
Apparently, David, the producer, has other priorities than this show.
No, just priorities that just pay me more. That's all.
Yeah. What do you get from me?
I can't say it on camera.
Patrick Fulmer agrees, says Knob 100 is one of my favorite dailies. Yeah, Knob Creek isn't usually one of my go-tos. It's just never really been on my radar. I see it a ton, and I've never really thought to go out and get it. But this time I was just attracted by that 12 years on it, and I said, well, what the hell? And it is really, really tasty.
Yeah, I'm digging it. Hey, Patrick Fulmer says, by the way, 70s, I was there. Class, and by the way, high school class of 1976.
1976, I love it.
Yep.
So that's what we're talking tonight, y'all, the 70s. But before we do that, I just want to remind you of a couple little housekeeping things. Number one, if you haven't done it already, subscribe to the fucking channel. Number two, like the goddamn video. It's not hard. And three, what do you say we tell them about hashtag Bourbon Soak Live? Hashtag Bourbon Soak Live is how we all get to know each other. Snap a photo of yourself watching the show or of whatever you are drinking or whatever you got going on. Maybe feel creative and make us a meme. Post it to Twitter using hashtag Bourbon Soak Live. Let us know it's there. That's key. And we will feature it on the show tonight.
Here, and I have a couple that were late entries from last week that I'm going to show you now. This was from Ginger. Referring to we had some man love over musical instruments.
Yes, David, the producer, and another one of our chat members were just getting it on over some gear that one of them had taken photos of. You were all over it.
And this one, her making fun of me once again. David, how do you screen capture? Juliette, you are a producer.
Duh, yeah. You're a producer. You should know how to do this stuff.
I know. Ginger was just cranking with them. And by the way, we had from Wes.
Oh, we showed that one already.
Oh, did we?
Yeah, we did. We showed that one.
Yeah, that is
the
scary.
Creepy doll.
It's a creepy doll.
I like creepy dolls.
Yeah, there you go.
They make me happy. I like creepy things. But we'll get more into that in the next couple of weeks for Halloween. But right now, we're talking 70s. We're going to be talking about everything. Music, movies, porn, TV shows, all of it. So make sure you share your favorites in the chat. And what do you say we kick things off a little bit by talking about our favorite music of the 70s? I got to say, this was kind of like the decade of subgenres.
It was. It had a lot of subgenres that popped up in the 70s. But, I mean, some of the best rock, for my money, absolutely,
I feel
in
like
the 70s.
I feel like we talk about this every week, is just how much we worship that rock sound from the 70s. You know, there's just nothing like it. You've got that really cool groove to it. You know, I'm thinking Led Zeppelin, although they are a little overrated, in my opinion.
Ooh, look at you.
They heavily lifted from a whole lot of folk songs from back in the day. And
they were sued by a lot of people for their material.
They were sued by a lot of people. I can't give a band like that all of my respect if you're going to rip off some poor little mom and pop banjo player out in the backwoods of London. Not cool. Not cool.
Well, and, you know, part of the hard rock kind of kickoff was really, you know, Zeppelin was considered just rock. It was just rock and roll at the time. There was no hard rock. Black Sabbath was kind of the first one that was like,
Black Sabbath.
What the hell is this? This is dark.
Hard rock, yeah. And they came out in what, 68?
Late 60s, early 70s. Yeah, it was late 60s, I think. Yeah.
And you know, we were at a bar on Saturday night, and it was crazy. It's called Sylvain. It's one of my favorite bars in the Quarter, and they were playing this incredible playlist. It was all like old Led Zeppelin, Dio, Ozzy Osbourne. It was kind of crazy to be sitting in a bar listening to that and drinking.
It was very cool.
I haven't done that in a long time, legally.
But look at some of the best rock came out of the 70s. I mean, you had Aerosmith, you know.
Oh, well, absolutely.
Killer stuff released in the 70s. You had, oh my God, Kiss, of course.
Of course, I know.
And I saw that it's oddly enough, Jerry just joined.
Jerry's here.
Yeah.
I see Bob's Adventure has also joined us. And Jerry is shocked that we were at a bar.
I know.
Like, you wouldn't expect us to see us at a bar, just like I wouldn't expect to see you starting shit with people in a parking lot, Jerry.
Oh, yes. For those of you that have not heard Bad Cop show, go out there and listen to Jerry's podcast. It's very funny. He's got a very good story he's going to be telling for next week's episode. I already talked to him about it, so you got to check it out.
I feel it's only right that we bring up Van Halen.
Of course. Yeah, with the passing of Eddie, the whole thing. I mean, was Van Halen a 70s band? Technically, yes, because their first album came out in 78.
Absolutely. They started in the 70s. And I know this is something that Jerry's talked about quite a bit, is the passing of Eddie Van Halen. And it's intriguing to me how people grieve over people they've never met. And David and I were talking about that the night that it happened. For me, I have a hard time crying over anybody I don't personally know. But there is something that I do mourn when people like that go. And it's more of a passing of an era. And I think the time I felt it the most was when Hugh Hefner died. Because when Hugh Hefner goes, well, there goes Playboy. And that was a whole era that I just love.
Back to real music.
Oh, I'm sorry. Back to real music.
Well,
who's the host?
I just love 70s music. Love,
I know, I do
love,
too.
love,
I do.
love. It is I'm Badfinger. Badfinger.
We were just listening to them also.
Killer 70s band.
And they're kind of like the alternative to the Beatles. They've got that pop sound to them a little bit.
Well, Paul McCartney actually co-wrote a couple of their songs.
I know. It sounds like the Beatles.
Yeah, there's a lot of Beatles stuff in Badfinger, and they were a very short-lived band because the singer committed suicide. I can't remember if it was after their first or second album, but yeah, they didn't last very long.
What is it with these 70s singers committing suicide? I mean, the guy from Boston hauled a fucking grill into the bathroom with him.
2 grills.
Oh, I'm sorry, 2 grills.
Yes.
Like, you mean business. It wasn't just one. He's like, no, that's not going to do it. I'm hauling one more in.
Well, yeah, you got to have a backup grill.
A backup grill.
What if the coals go out?
What if the coals go out? So Charles Ashworth wants to know, when are we finally going to mention the greatest power trio of all time, ZZ Top?
ZZ Top. When Fandango came out, I was like, I hadn't heard anything like that before. Those guys.
So different. Yeah.
LaGrange, when that came out on the radio for the first time, I'm like, who in the hell are these dudes?
Well, and that's part of the whole, I think, when I was mentioning subgenres earlier, is that music was kind of broken down into these little categories that were unheard of. I mean, we're talking Southern rock. You had the Allman Brothers coming out. You had Leonard Skinner. I mean, they were groundbreaking too. And it was a sound that was just so rootsy and bluesy.
Look at the subgenres that came out in the 70s. You had arena rock. You had hard rock. You had Southern rock. You
Progressive
had
rock.
Progressive rock, exactly. You had disco, you had funk.
And then you had funk, which is kind of like the alternative to disco, like the cool alternative.
Yeah, it was like R&B kind of mixed with disco in a way.
Yeah, exactly.
And then you had punk. So, I mean, all those subgenres came out of the 70s. That's crazy.
You know what I'm missing in today's music?
Music.
A response to society. Wasn't music supposed to be the young's response to what was going on in the world right now? I mean, you look at punk in particular.
Right.
Anarchy and anger and change and rebellion. Where is that now? Do we have anything like that? We don't even have Linda Ronstadt right now.
Mm-mm. There are no...
I'll even take a Joan Baez.
There are no protesting. So even though everyone on social media wants to cancel each other and everyone wants to protest every single tweet, that you have not one musical artist out there that is at least...
That's offering a voice.
That's offering a voice to protest.
I mean, am I missing it? Is this out there and I just haven't heard it or been made aware of it? I mean, I'll listen if it's there. I'm curious, but...
I don't see it. I don't hear it. No one's doing it. Well, no, music, and that's exactly it, Jerry.
Jerry's saying music
is supposed to be fun, but it moved. It changed. Now it's about money.
It is.
It's all about money.
It is. So who did that? I mean, did the 70s do that?
No, the record companies did it. And it ended up biting them in the ass, unfortunately.
The 70s were the rise of the record label.
Yeah.
So is this our fault?
For buying them. I mean, I guess it's, circular, right?
I guess,
it's an industry that ate itself. So, which is kind of tough.
Charles Ashworth says, well, this is going to get flagged real quick. Speaking of Nick DiPaolo.
What?
Canceled off YouTube.
No.
Yeah, he's been indefinitely suspended, but he's launching his own network.
Oh, that's
coming
bullshit.
up. So he's only available on Patreon right now, which is complete bullshit because they said he was spreading news that was incorrect.
Wow. Okay, now
lest I get canceled too.
Wait, I got a couple things I want to address here with the music in the chat. That Charles says, "My man Bootsy." Bootsy Collins.
Oh, Bootsy Collins. Yes.
Absolutely, from Parliament.
Yeah.
And I got the opportunity to go up on stage with George Clinton and
story.
Parliament and play a song.
Yeah.
That I will forever remember.
Now, what song did you play?
Flashlight.
Wow.
That's one of their big hits.
Okay, so walk me through this, right? So you were backstage with the guys.
Well, my band was opening up for them.
Right. So you're with Parliament.
Right.
And,
No, it actually didn't start that way. So we went up, did our set, and then there was like a half an hour change for the musical gear in between it. And when I went off stage, backstage, there was a tent set up, and I walked into it thinking that was our tent to get back dressed.
So you made a mistake.
I made a mistake, and I walked into George Clinton's.
Oops.
And he said, "That was some cool bass." I'm like, "Oh my God."
So George Clinton complimented your bass playing?
Complimented my bass playing.
Holy fuck.
And said, "Do you want to come up and do a song?" Bootsy wasn't on that tour, by the way.
Okay.
Which was a bummer to me, because I would have loved to see Parliament with Bootsy, because Bootsy Collins is my hero. They had another bass player. I don't even know who the guy was. And he asked if I want to do a song, if I knew any of their songs. And I go, "I totally know Flashlight."
Why, yes, I do.
He goes, "Of course you want to do our big hit." And he was high as fuck.
Well, okay, so that's actually kind of ballsy, right? The guys are like, "Do you know any of our songs?" And you say, "Yes, I know your biggest hit." And, they just let you walk out on stage with them playing their biggest hit.
Well, it was like they didn't even play it at the end of the show, which you would think they would play their biggest hit. And I was waiting, I knew their set was 90 minutes.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, I'll go on in the end or near the end, because it's one of their big hits. No, he played it right in the middle.
Wow. Oh my God. So
I think he wanted to cut his losses if I blew it. Well, if I blew it, yeah.
Did you blow it? I mean,
No, but I was nervous. I never get nervous playing on stage, but that time I got nervous.
Wow.
Yeah. But just standing next to Bootsy Collins and standing next to another guy that wears a diaper, kind of weird.
That is a little weird.
He had a horn and a diaper.
Wow, you should have dressed up for the occasion.
Well, there you go.
Now, I see we've got all sorts of names being thrown out here in the chat. I see
Bootsy Miranda.
Bootsy Miranda. Yeah.
Styx. Great.
Styx.
Again, more known for their 80s music, but they did start in the 70s. Absolutely started in the 70s and had some pretty sizable hits in the 70s.
What's his
Nugent.
name that we saw at Disney World from Styx?
Oh, Dennis DeYoung.
Dennis DeYoung, that's right. Okay, Dennis DeYoung was amazing. He wound up on the flight going back to Chicago with us.
Yeah, he stared at you like a mental patient.
So we were both sitting in first class, and he was coming out of the bathroom.
Whoa. Let's back that up.
Yes.
We did not buy first class.
No, I did buy first class tickets.
Oh, did you? Because usually we get lucky and get up.
No, that was one that I bought.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I like to upgrade our Disney trips. But we were sitting there. He comes out of the bathroom, and he stood staring at me for what, like 2 minutes? It was really awkward.
He was dressing you down with his eyes.
Yeah, it was really weird. But
it made me laugh the whole trip home.
We're an unmarried lady. Who knows what have happened in that airport?
Ooh.
Ew, I know, right? So yeah, I see Ted Nugent. Fuck yes, Ted Nugent. Amazing. And a cool guy, too. I spent some time with him when he was with Damn Yankees.
Never met Ted Nugent. Would have loved to.
Yeah, cool.
Patrick Fulmer, Queen. How could you forget Queen as a 70s band?
Well,
bad.
Yeah.
Ass.
I mean, that's about as good as it gets, unless you're talking about the Faces.
Well, the Faces. Oh, my God. The Faces. They were early 70s. They brought
they came out of the 60s,
rock into the whole thing. And they were just so damn good.
That is a band that epitomizes rock star sexuality to me. Like you ask me, Juliette, what's the deal with rock stars? And I will tell you to go watch The Faces with Rod Stewart.
Watch the BBC special, live special. That's the only live.
Yes.
No, it's not the only live thing they did. When they got back together in the 2000s for like a show or two, there's a live thing out there. But it's the only live BBC concert. It's on YouTube. Go out and check out The Faces.
It's amazing.
You will not regret it.
They do an incredible cover of Paul McCartney's Maybe I'm Amazed, which is our song. But It's
Oof.
outstanding. I say better than the original. So you got to listen to that.
Oh,
It's fucking incredible.
There's some great things in here. Wild Cherry, great band.
Oh, absolutely. Boston. Yes, absolutely. Oh,
totally
hello.
Great band.
We've got some people joining us that I haven't said hello to, including Grandpa Rails, who suggested Boston to us. Thank you very much. April Wine from Jerry. There's a deep dive.
I Wanna Rock is still one of my favorite songs.
Was it Roland?
Roland,
Yeah.
A High Roller.
High Roller. That's it. Something like that.
Great song.
I interviewed them in the 90s.
Oh, they were known in the 90s.
Yeah, it wasn't a good one.
They were on their way
They were
down.
a little bitter.
Yeah. Bitter wine.
Mm.
Aerosmith, of course. What a classic. Just amazing.
BTO.
A BTO, great 70s band. Holy. Bachman Turner Overweight. I love those guys.
Yes, that's exactly what you called them.
You always have.
I also see the OJs. Earth, Wind, and Fire, the Commodores, Guardian of Chaos. Absolutely. Those are all fucking awesome bands, especially the OJs.
See, now Guardian of Chaos, you're right up my alley with the 70s soul music. Yeah. I love soul. So everything from the OJs to the Spinners to Gladys Knight and the Pips to Jackson 5.
The Spinners. Oh, I love the Spinners.
Oh, my God. It just goes on and on.
Yeah, it doesn't
Marvin
get better
Gaye.
Than that.
Oh, man. All that stuff. All that stuff came out of the 70s.
Yes. I mean, what was it about the 70s that made it such a prime time to be so creative and to dish out all these killer bands? I mean, what was in the water? You know, what was going on? How did this happen?
Mm-hmm.
And why can't it happen again? Damn it.
And Jerry's got a great thing here, too. And you know what? Wings was a really good band. Well, I would even say, you don't like Paul McCartney Wings? Oh my God.
It's fine.
Oh my God.
It's fine.
Who are you? Such a great band. Okay, now Patrick Fulmer, I'm going to have to, not a big Neil Young fan, but I can see why people loved him.
Ooh, yeah. There are certain artists I just can't get into. And there was a reference to it earlier, probably made by Jerry, but he was saying that Rush might be one of the best trios. And I'm a chick, so by default, I hate Rush.
You hate Rush, right? All chicks hate Rush.
I don't dig them. They go on too long. There's just too much crap going on in the music. I can't listen.
Man, this is like endless list of great bands.
I know, it's just like boom, boom, boom. They're all amazing. Bob Seger.
Well, before that, did you see what Bob's Adventure? How did we not think of this? Chicago, of course.
Oh, Chicago. Saturday in the Park.
Saturday in the Park, great song. I mean, they had tons of hits in the 70s. And then Guardian of Chaos says, raised on soul and rock and roll. Same here. Totally get it. Cheap Trick.
Well, we're from Chicago originally, so I mean,
our boys from Rockford.
There's no getting around knowing Cheap Trick. Although, if you're an idiot like me, you will misidentify the drummer of the band. So,
yep. Patrick Fulmer has a really good point here. He says the strong survived the 60s and ruled the 70s. I think you're right.
That's an interesting point, Patrick. There certainly was a lot to overcome, especially going out of the 60s and into the 70s.
War was just ending.
Exactly, yeah.
President had been killed. I mean, it was a really tumultuous time.
Go into the
Nixon at the end of the
years
60s.
And it gets a little crazy.
And then it gets even weirder.
Right. That's a really interesting point. But again, how are we so different today?
Jerry says, might be one of the best trios. They are the best trio.
I thank you for correcting me, Jerry. I really appreciate
Jerry, you don't like
help.
Triumph?
What, no King's X?
Excuse me. So Grandpa Rail says Nazareth. There was a good solid
my
band.
God, yes. Love Hurts is probably one of the quintessential early power ballads that I can think of.
Well, and he also mentions Heart and ELO. I mean, these are
ELO.
all
Oh my God.
bands that have had tons of hits in the 70s. And you have guys like Alice Cooper who kicked it off in the 70s.
That's true. Why did I not think of Alice Cooper?
Yeah.
I feel like he gets
overlooked a lot.
He gets overlooked. That's the exact word. Yeah, I don't think people give him enough credit. I think
the Doobie Brothers.
The
My
Doobies.
God. Which Doobie you
be? We saw them live a few years ago, and I know you weren't as thrilled with it, but I was just over the moon.
Yeah, I was like, meh, it was okay.
And we also saw Michael McDonald live.
He was amazing.
Just
Michael McDonald was amazing.
fucking awesome.
Yeah.
That guy doesn't age, and his voice just stays solid.
Another Illinois band, REO Speedwagon from Champaign.
Now, we have debates over REO Speedwagon because I love these guys, and you...
I love the early stuff from the 70s, but when they started hitting those like crappy AM radio gold
come
hits.
on, those are
I
the
hate
best. The yacht rock.
Hated it. Their
It's
yacht rock
fucking
bullshit.
Awesome. Oh, I mean, they're just so booming. I love the big booming choruses on songs, and they are just so good at it. And did we ever, I don't know if I told this story, but you impersonated the drummer of REO Speedwagon once.
Yeah, to get backstage. Yeah.
It wasn't backstage, it was the VIP tent.
Oh, I'm sorry. The VIP was like next to
Yes.
where the stage was.
Yeah.
And it was air conditioned.
Well, that's
so it was
why
so
we
hot.
wanted in. It was air conditioned, and they had private bathrooms.
Yeah, I told them I was the drummer from REO
And
Speedwagon.
who knows who the drummer is, right? So they let us in. And then, like, I don't know, half an hour, 40 minutes later, somebody comes in and grabs you and says, "Oh, dude, you got to be on stage."
Yes, dude, it's time for sound check. I go, holy shit. He thinks I'm really the drummer from REO.
Well, and it was the best, too, because he starts leading us out into, like, the crowd to go back around to the stage. And, like, we
lost him.
break for it. Yeah,
Yeah.
we hid in the chicken tent, I think.
Well, it was where they had the cows for the 4-H
That's
club.
right. That's right. This is why state fairs are the best.
State fairs rock.
Oh, hey, Guardian of Chaos calls out the mighty Charlie Daniels.
Of course.
Hell yeah,
Charlie
Charlie Daniels.
Daniels.
Oh, I love that man. I had a great conversation with him a couple years ago.
He was kind enough to come on the show, and he couldn't have been a nicer guy. And
Amazing. Total gentleman. Totally
nice.
awesome guy. My
Yeah.
shirt's falling off
and
me.
Jerry, I love you for bringing this up because I totally forgot about that band and their live album, their first live album. I don't know if they have more.
Foghat.
Foghat. To this day, that live album by Foghat still makes me smile.
Absolutely. Well, and if we're talking live albums, Peter Frampton.
Peter Frampton. He had the biggest live album of the
Exactly.
70s.
Yeah, y'all. I mean, that's
How can I forget Peter Frampton?
exactly.
Wow. See, it's all these huge artists that came out of the 70s.
That's just it. You can't talk about the 70s without just being blown away by them.
Tell me one band that came out of the 2010s.
Out of the last 10 years?
Yeah, the 2010s.
Jesus Christ.
And they can't be K-pop.
Wow. Okay, I need a little help from the chat here, y'all. Give me the name of any new band from the past 10 years.
Well, any new good
New
band.
good band. And it's not K-pop. Wow.
Waiting for it,
Waiting for it,
nothing.
waiting for it, waiting for
while
it. I got nothing.
while
And
we're asking, AC/DC, came out in the 70s.
fuck yeah, AC/DC. I also see Thin Lizzy. I know you're not a huge fan, but I love Thin
Not
Lizzy.
a huge fan, but I appreciated what they did. Yep, Black Sabbath. James Brown. He was more 60s, but he had some really good stuff in the 70s.
Jerry is calling out the Struts.
Were they 70s?
No, as a new band.
as in the new bands. That's
As a new
right,
band.
right. He did turn me on to the Struts, and you know what? I gotta agree with him. They were really good.
All right. So among all of us here, we've found one
band.
halfway decent band from the last 10 years. This
Amy
is
Winehouse. I'll get you Charles
That-
Ashworth. Yeah,
well,
but I think we'd be hard pressed to name as many as we did in the 70s.
that's just it. So now
I think
that
that's
we've
got a lot to do with our age, though.
us being old and not in tune.
No, in our late 20s, it's hard for us.
I know. When you're in your 20s, you get so forgetful and creaky.
You're right. A couple more people have joined us, by the way. Dr. Fish, hey.
I saw
how you
Dr.
doing?
Fish joined us. Cheers. Thanks for being here. I know I think I saw Mare Bear in here earlier and I didn't say hi. So hello now.
Oh, and Karaoke Ken is here as well.
Karaoke Ken, cheers to you. Now, I think we've kind of exhausted music. I mean, otherwise we're just going to be spitting out names and we're done with that. So let's spit out some different names. Let's start talking about our favorite movies from the 70s.
Movies.
Now, I want to start this off by saying the 70s, for me personally, was the decade of horror.
Deep Throat.
Okay, we're not talking porn yet.
Okay.
Hold your porn for at least 5 minutes, y'all. 70s were the decade of horror. And not just like the horror movie, but like true exploitative horror, like Last House on the Left, I Spit on Your Grave. I mean, the really cool dark stuff, Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Mhm.
And then of course, the more mainstream stuff like Halloween. I mean, it was just a stellar decade for great, tense, scary, dirty movies.
I saw the first 70s horror movie I saw, and I told you this story, was when I went to the drive-in with my mother and my younger brother. He was 3 years younger than I. He still is 3 years younger. It hasn't changed. That we went to go see Toolbox Murders.
Oh, that's right. And by modern standards, that movie is just really kind of weak.
Oof. But when you're...
I know, when you're 7 and you're like...
I think I might have been 8.
Okay,
I
7
was
or
8
8,
and my brother was 5.
Yeah, and you see...
My mother, completely tone deaf. She had no idea that was not a movie to take us to.
You guys were going to sleep during the second movie.
Right.
I know I see Charles Ashworth is calling out The Exorcist. Yes, talk about a seriously tense, crazy movie and so over the top and innovative too in the filmmaking technique. I mean, I want to call him Faulkner, but his name is not Faulkner. Who directed Friedkin? William Friedkin. Directed The Exorcist.
Dr. Fish calls out The Terminator, and he's right because that came out in 79. That hit
Terminator,
the very tail end of...
did that come out in 79?
I'm almost positive. I'll have to look it up.
No.
Sure?
Somebody needs to fact check that. I think
right.
The Terminator came out in like 83.
I'm looking it up now.
It came out in the 80s. I'm almost certain.
Alrighty.
I see Dr. Fish is calling out Jaws. And Patrick Fulmer is calling out the decade of disaster movies, the 70s. Fuck yeah.
Oh, yeah. Midway, Towering Inferno,
Poseidon Adventure.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Terminator was 84.
84. I was this close.
God,
y'all.
I thought it was earlier. I really did. I don't know why.
The Dirty Harry movies came out in the 70s.
Oh, yeah.
Good stuff right there.
Absolutely. Animal House. How could you not love Animal
What
House?
a perfect comedy. Like, it has it all. It's got a little bit of a sex thing going on there, kind of an undercurrent of it. It's just got drinking and chaos and pranks. They pretend to shoot a horse.
Well, and Dr. Fish says, and there were a lot of like badass movies. Like you had guys like Dirty Harry.
Exactly.
Example.
Yes. Death Wish.
Yeah, then you had, right, Charles Bronson is your action star, Clint Eastwood.
The badass man was a thing in the 70s, and I miss that.
Yeah, you know who else was a badass? And you don't even look at him like that now is, Chinatown in the 70s.
Oh, yeah. For
you know who I'm talking
fuck's
about.
sake.
Yeah.
Why can't I think of his name?
Gene Hackman. There we are. Wow. That took a while to put together.
Yes, I really miss the badass dude from the 70s. Like today's leading men are just little pretty boys.
Yeah.
They're whiny and sensitive. I like Dirty Harry.
Yeah.
Or I suppose
grit.
Like, even if you look at, say, Robert Redford, he was certainly an attractive, handsome man, but even he had grit to him. Like, you look at him in The Sting. Did that come out in the 70s? The Sting in the
70s, yes.
I mean, he's suave, but cool,
Absolutely.
Little dirty under the collar.
Paul Newman,
absolutely.
I mean, you had some guy leading action stars that had balls.
Although I do need to call out Karaoke Ken and Charles Ashworth are both referencing Rocky Horror Picture Show. I've never, and I'm going to just say this right now, I've never been turned on by a man in lingerie except for Tim Curry in Rocky Horror Picture Show. I don't know what it is about him in that movie, but he's so fucking sexy. Maybe it's just the confidence. I don't know. But that's a great movie.
Donner Pass Whiskey's here with us.
Hey, Donner Pass. Cheers to you. So we're talking 70s movies and actors, and we've got to cover actresses. We have to be equal opportunity here. So who's the sexiest actress from the 70s?
Oh my God, I like Bernadette Peters. I always thought she was a piece of ass.
Adored Bernadette Peters.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah.
I wasn't a big Jane Fonda fan, except for Barbarella, where she was
But
badass
that's
hot.
the 60s, though.
Oh, was that late 60s?
68 or 69.
Shit.
Yeah.
Okay, then I wasn't
But
a fan
she
of
was
hers in the
in
70s.
Klooch or Klook, one of the two, in the 70s. That movie where
I know
she
which
plays
one you're talking
a
about.
hooker.
Yeah.
Very hot in that movie.
I'm trying to think of
Linda Carter.
Well, she didn't do movies. She was mostly TV.
She was Wonder Woman.
She was TV.
All right.
Yeah,
well,
I wouldn't give her the pass on that.
Farrah Fawcett.
She didn't do movies either.
Well, okay, she's still an actress.
All right, I'll give you the actress part. Yeah, those two were pieces of ass. So Adrienne Barbeau.
Adrienne Barbeau with the voice to match.
Yeah, and Lonnie Anderson.
Lonnie Anderson.
I got to go back to Grandpa Rails where he calls out Apocalypse Now. Yes. Oh, and Chinatown with Jack Nicholson.
Nicholson. Yeah,
that's right. I got it mixed up with another movie with Gene Hackman. Yeah, I can't remember what that one is.
I don't know. Anne Archer.
Anne Archer was hot. Hot piece of ass. She was good.
Who was the woman who starred in Amityville Horror? Does anybody know?
Oh,
because she's beautiful.
I know, but she wasn't a big actress.
I don't know, but she's stunning in that movie with a great body.
Yeah, I think
she plays a ballet dancer. I think she wears a leotard in one scene, and she just looks banging.
She was a B-level actress.
I don't know, but she's
best.
hot.
Yeah. Now, what about? Well, the 70s was not the start of sci-fi in movies. I mean, obviously the 50s had all kinds of Martian movies and all kinds of crazy stuff. But
sci-fi.
But like real
sci-fi.
Sci-fi.
Yeah, not like the pew stuff, but like the badass alien sci-fi.
Well,
and that
Aliens came out in 70s, right? Or is that
Alien, the original,
first
came
one.
out in 78 or 79.
And Star Wars came out in 70s too.
Star Wars did come out in 79.
No, earlier than that. I think it was. Well, let me take a look.
All right, we need a fact check on that.
Fact check.
Farrah Fawcett has been called out. I see Donner Pass Whiskey is drinking a good Halloween scotch. Interesting. That sounds delightful. I'm doing Knob Creek 12-year tonight, and once it opens up a little bit, I think right out of the bottle, it's a little harsh, but once it sits out, I know this isn't necessarily approved, but it's delightful. It's really, really nice. Very oaky.
Star Wars: A New Hope came out in 1977. Oh, and that's what Dr. Fish said. Yeah, Dr. Fish called it out. He knew it. And Karaoke Ken says Olivia Newton-John. She was hot in Grease. I don't care what you say.
She was hot. She had that girl next door thing going on.
Yeah.
Until she became a slut at the end and wore leather pants and high heels.
Still a good-looking whore.
Raquel Welch.
Oh, Raquel Welch. How could I?
And what about Bo Derek?
That was 80s.
Bo Derek? I thought
80s.
that was like 77.
No, 80s. Yeah,
crap.
sorry.
All right, never mind.
Early 80s.
Okay.
Raquel Welch. Yeah, that's a good one.
Nancy is saying Annette Funicello in Beach Blanket Bingo. I never thought of Annette Funicello as being hot.
I thought of her as being more 60s actress.
And definitely more 60s. Like I look at her and like, I think, cutie on a beach.
Yeah. No, she had a nice rack though.
Yes, the A and the E just curve around like so.
A little bit. But my favorite part of the movies of the 70s were definitely the comedies.
Oh my God. There were
comedies.
Amazing comedies in the 70s. And I got to call out one of my personal favorites, and that's Bad News Bears.
Yep, Bad News Bears.
With Walter Matthau. I love that movie for so many reasons. One, I mean, it's got that sort of dirty comedy edge to it, and it feels very wrong when you're watching it. But I love that they don't win in the end, that they fucking lose, and they're happy about it. I think it's a geniusly written movie. And plus, Walter Matthau is just cool in it. He's just this fucked up old dude who throws beer cans at kids.
Well, and we called out Animal House. You also have The Jerk.
Steve Martin. Oh my God, Steve Martin in the 70s was cool. There's a photo circulating of him right now. One of his very, very early photos, like pre-Jerk, pre-comedy albums. I think he was actually just playing banjo. and he looks like Waylon fucking Jennings.
Yeah, he does.
It's insane. And he actually looked kind of hot. And I would never say that about Steve Martin, but in that shot, it worked.
Yep. Oh, and Dr. Fish, Back to School with Rodney Dangerfield was actually the 80s. It was early 80s, but yeah, it was the 80s. Jerry, favorite 70s comedy, The In-Laws. With Arkin.
Alan Arkin.
Alan Arkin.
Yes.
That movie was great.
Such a smart movie, too. So well written.
Kentucky Fried Movie, Donner Pass, 79. I have to say. Yeah, 79. Oh, no, it's 70s.
Yeah,
it's totally a 70s movie. Yeah. But we went back and watched it.
Ooh, it doesn't hold up.
Didn't really hold up so well. I wish it did because I had fond memories of that movie.
And the same could be said for the MASH movie.
Oh, the movie was
that came out in the 80s, though, I think.
No,
so
that's 70s.
Was that 70s?
Oh, definitely. MASH came out as the movie in the 70s. Now, some of the best comedy movies in the 70s were Cheech and Chong.
Oh, my God. Cheech and Chong's next movie is like the thing I will put on when I'm drunk as fuck. And I will sit there and laugh for an hour and a half. It cracks me up every single time. And I don't even know why. I don't even know if it's that funny, if I just respond to something stupid in it. But I love that movie.
And
Up in Smoke. That's good too.
Right. Yeah. And you know that Monty Python movies were in the 70s too? Holy Grail.
Yeah,
Holy Grail was
absolutely.
70s. It's unbelievable. Yeah.
And
and History of the World. That is a great movie. Along with Blazing Saddles. Some of Mel Brooks' best work. Charles Ashworth, Nice Dreams. I'm going to have to say no on that one. Is that the one
with the lizard?
No. Nice Dreams was when they had the ice cream truck.
Oh, the ice cream truck. Are you sure there wasn't a pot-smoking lizard in that one? I feel like there's a pot-smoking lizard in that.
That was the second one.
That's the second one.
Cheech and Chong's the next movie.
No, that's not a next movie.
I think
the pot-smoking lizard is not in next movie.
I don't remember that.
I think it's in Nice Dreams, actually. But I could be wrong. Who knows?
Smokey and the Bandit.
Oh, fuck yeah. There's another man.
Cannonball fucking Run.
Cannonball Run. Oh, my God. And that's got a bunch of hot chicks in it, too.
Oh, yeah.
Who are the chicks who wore, like, the like, unitards?
I know. I don't remember.
I don't remember who they were, but God, they were hot. Didn't they dress up as nuns in one scene?
I think they did. I don't recall. No, but there's tons of great comedies in the 70s.
Well, and I suppose it's only fair, since it was brought up earlier, to mention 1970s porn.
Oh, can I do one last comedy?
All right.
Young Frankenstein.
Oh, I know you love that movie.
Frankenstein.
Rolling in the hay. She was hot in that movie. Madeline Kahn.
Or are you talking about Terry Garr?
Oh, no, they're both hot in that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm in. Susan Anton was one of the girls in Cannonball Run. Yes.
Okay, got it.
Good call, Jerry.
Look at you, Jerry. So quick.
Okay, sorry. I did not mean to stop you from getting into 70s porn.
70s porn, y'all. Come on. It was like the sexual revolution.
After the Summer of Love.
Yeah. All of a sudden, it was just like they realized porn was cheap and easy to make, and it was loved and hated equally. And it was kind of interesting. I think the distinction between 70s porn and current porn is that there was a storyline to it. I mean, it might have been a weak storyline, but it was still a storyline. You look at Debbie Does Dallas.
Well, you have to remember that in the 70s, there was no videotapes yet. Everything was still being played in movie houses. So they were treating them still like movies.
Movies, yeah.
Where they had a plot, even though they were very weak plots.
I love that, though. And I think that's really kind of desensitized us to what's fun in sex these days. Like, you watch modern porn and it's just like, bam, done. But these 70s movies kind of carried you through them a little bit. There was an eroticism to it that's completely lost today.
Well, there were a lot of tongue-in-cheek stuff.
Well, yes, they were quirky and cute about it too.
Right. They never took themselves overly serious.
They did not, and I think that makes it all the better.
Yeah.
Charles Ashworth says, my first ever porn was Debbie Does Dallas. Rented it on my 18th birthday from two women in their 20s.
Ooh, that sounds like a party.
And Jerry says the star of every 70s porn movie was the porn bush. Whew, I have a little bit of a hard time watching that. I do. Like
it's tough to take now.
It is. Like I see that. It's just like, holy fuck, is this a jungle?
Yeah, I need a machete to get through whatever that is.
I can't even.
I know.
Like that's the one thing. And the same
it takes
thing,
me out of it.
It takes me out of it a little bit. Yeah. I mean, I appreciate the naturalism of it all and the kind of bad lighting and the weird angles at times, but the bush, I just can't do it.
My first porn was Behind the Green Door.
Ooh, yeah, that's a good one.
And very taboo.
I was going to say it's a little bit more hardcore.
Yeah. Yeah. It set me up for the rest of my life, essentially, who I am today.
I wish he still did it. But Dave Attell used to do a show called Dave's Old Porn, where he pulled out a bunch of old porn and would review it with his friends.
With comedians.
With other comedians and everything.
It was awesome.
Fucking hysterical the way that they were calling out all these weird things that were going on in porn movies that you don't even think to necessarily look at.
Well, the funny thing is that the women had, all bush down there, and every guy had a huge mustache. So I'm like,
I know. Where do I look? What am I looking at? It just melds into one.
All you're looking at is a big hair mold when they're doing
stuff.
Yeah,
I mean, occasionally you see like a tongue or something, and you're like, where'd that come from?
Container Man says Bush is making a comeback,
That's
and
nice.
I can only hope that it doesn't.
Not in this household.
Not in this house.
Not
thank
here.
God. Nope.
There's just something about that just clicks me out.
Yeah, it's after. When the 80s came and everyone's going. Well, first it went to the landing strip.
Landing strip is fine. I mean, I'm okay with grooming and everything. That's right. Okay. But yeah, the 80s changed everything. It didn't just change Bush. It changed lighting. It changed boobs. All of it.
Yeah. All the augmentations.
Yeah. Like all of a sudden we didn't want to look at a normal looking person. We wanted perfection.
Now I think it's come full circle where people want to, see more natural.
Well, and to Container Man's point, I think you're right. I think you both are, that things are kind of coming back around to a more natural looking porn, which is why things like amateur porn is so popular today.
Right.
It looks more relatable.
I think so. Because, you can only watch a porn star say the words ooh and ah so many times when you know that they're just ringing checks in their head.
Yeah, I know. But I do like a little production value to my porn.
Yeah, not so important to me.
I like a little bit of a storyline to it. I like, some accessories.
Story is I watch porn, I come, I'm done. That's the story.
No. I'm a woman. I like the background. I like the tease.
Yeah.
I like all of it.
I'm pretty coin operated.
You're
it's
such
not
a dude.
very. Yeah,
you're such a dude.
I'm coin operated. It's not hard, to.
Oh, Donner Pass Whiskey has called out Marilyn Chambers was the girl on the ivory soapbox. So when she was in Behind the Green Door, it was such a big deal. Yes.
I didn't even remember that. Was that a thing?
Marilyn Chambers?
Oh, I know she starred in that movie, but I didn't know she was the.
She was once upon a time a
chick.
very clean-cut, pretty girl.
Okay. Jerry says, "Great story, David." Fuck you.
Fuck you, Jerry. Jerry's such an ass.
The only production value is that I just want to make sure that the guys hold on to the camera tight enough to where it doesn't drop it. Oh, these amateur porn. Oh, these amateur porn guys have no idea what they're doing with the camera.
I don't watch amateur porn.
Yeah,
I can't. I know. I can't. I'm not into it.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, I'm not knocking it. It is what it is. But the porn I like has a little bit more of a story to it. You understand why she was a bad girl. You get a little background.
Okay, fair enough.
I like that.
Yeah.
Yes, they did take the picture of her off the box. That does not surprise me. Once you're in porn, you cannot go back to being the ivory soap girl.
Nope. Yeah, there's no going back to that.
No, this is why if I wanted to, I don't think I could ever go back to being Debbie, the girl in the dental commercial.
One thing I wanted to cover, and I know we don't have a whole bunch of time to do it, but is comedy in the 70s.
You mean comedians?
Comedians, comedy, not comedy movies.
Ah, yes.
Comedy.
Yeah, Richard fucking Pryor.
Well, I think it goes way beyond that. I mean, you had Richard Pryor, which of course he dominated the 70s, but so did George Carlin.
George Carlin, for sure. Yes.
Totally dominated the 70s. And you had Woody Allen dominating the 70s.
I don't think Woody Allen gets enough credit for his original comedy. He was so smart about it. And yeah, I mean, he was Woody Allen, so he was weird and quirky too, but he was really, really funny. And he's gone back to a lot of his original comedy to make his current movies, which has just made incredible movies. I think Midnight in Paris is the one that I'm thinking of particularly because that was a routine that he did, although I want to say it was in the late 60s. Either way, though.
And you know what else? And you're not even going to remember this maybe, but Albert Brooks.
Oh my God, Albert Brooks.
Started in comedy in the 70s.
Oh my God. When did his first movie came out? Because, Albert Brooks.
80s.
Really?
Early 80s.
Albert Brooks invented reality TV, and nobody gives him credit for it.
Yep.
His movie, what was it? American Family, I think?
I believe you're right.
I don't remember. I could be wrong on the name, but it was about
something close like that.
A family that they decide, and the movie is about the family being portrayed for a TV series, and it shows their daily activities being filmed by this crazy camera crew. It's so spot on for today, and nobody gives them credit for it.
Right. Well, and another guy that doesn't get enough credit these days for being a 70s comedian or being a comedian in general is Red Fox.
Absolutely.
One of the first really dirty comics out there doing it every day. I mean, he was before Richard Pryor.
Jerry is saying that Larry David started in the 70s.
He did. So did David Letterman, Richard Lewis.
Jay Leno.
Jay
all
Leno.
of them. Yeah, well, they all got
Jerry
their start.
Seinfeld.
The
Catch a Rising Star.
LA comedy scene was huge in the 70s. You look at what's her name? Mitzi Shore and the Comedy Club. She did the Comedy
Store.
Comedy Store, sorry.
Yeah.
And the way that she nurtured all of those upcoming comedians.
Yep.
And since we're talking comedy, I want to bring up real quick Bill Burr on Saturday Night Live. You saw it.
I did. I thought it was. It was a week 7 minutes.
It was not Bill Burr's best set. I will say that, and I worship Bill Burr. I think he had some great bits in it, but it felt really awkward in places, and I don't know if that's because he was reacting to the audience's kind of cold reception to him, or if
a lot of his jokes didn't land.
A lot of his jokes didn't land, and it just felt like he either hadn't fleshed them out entirely, or maybe he even left something out. I couldn't quite tell, but there was a hole in there, and I didn't know what was going on, so I felt a little bad for him. But still, I mean, he made some amazing points, and the fact that Twitter fucking erupted over it was just ridiculous.
Okay, we have to show.
Oh, hey, do we have something for #Bourbon Soak Live?
We do. And by the way, want to thank all the great people who shared it. I see Zach Sanford shared it. Mary Bear shared it. And Jerry shared it. But want to show you this here.
What do we got?
This is our friend Tony, who goes by Hey Look Squirrel. Hold on.
Waiting.
There we are.
There we go.
And you got to read it here.
Most underrated on YouTube. Pretending I'm cool and important while listening to Bourbon Soak Live. Oh, thank you so much. I'm so glad you were lurking
Miss you,
in
Tony.
the background.
Yeah, I haven't seen Tony around in a long time.
We haven't had a chance to really catch up at all.
I think everyone's been kind of crazy. And he says #David is my dad. He says #my stepmom is hot. That's funny.
Aw. Well, y'all, I want to thank you so much for being here and hanging out with us. Now, Garden of Chaos, you're my hero. You were here first, so you get the first closing sip.
We had a lot of great people in here today.
All of our friends were hanging out. Our bourbon buddies like Donner Pass, Patrick Fulmer, Charles Ashworth, Zach, Jerry, our little friend from Bad Cup podcast, who is always a delight.
Rex Gunn.
Thank you for joining us. I know music is your jam, so I'm glad you were here to talk with us about it. Nancy Jones, thank you for being here. Mare Bear and Dr. Fish, of course. Bob's Adventures. Who am I missing?
Did you get Jerry? Jerry.
How could I? Did you not hear my little ode to Jerry?
No, I missed your ode to Jerry.
I did an ode to Jerry.
Oh, yeah, he's doesn't need an ode.
Oh.
Grandpa Rails.
Grandpa Rails. There we go. Thank you for joining us. So, y'all, this has been amazing.
We have a latecomer.
We do.
We have a latecomer.
Karaoke Ken was here also.
Karaoke Ken and Container Man, you cannot forget.
And Container Man. How could I forget Container Man? How rude.
You got Pixel Pia, who's saying hi to Tony, which, hey, look, Squirrel, Tony is here.
Well, all right, y'all. You can come back and join us next Monday night at 7 p.m. Central Time. I have no idea what we're going to be talking about, but I'm guessing it's going to be Halloween related. Don't forget, I also have a podcast. It's called The Unwritable Rant, and it lives where all fine podcasts live. David, the producer, has been hanging out behind the scenes, and he has his own YouTube channel where you can check out his most recent interview with Bill Leverty from Firehouse.
Yeah, that was a fun talk.
That was a great time. I let you guys have at it because you two musicians needed a little, boy time.
We should have got a side room. I know. He was really cool though. It was really fun to talk
and it
to.
was too bad that you ended the stream because you guys actually had a great conversation after the fact.
Yeah, but he wouldn't want to have that conversation on there.
It was a great conversation. And that's, some of the stuff you just can't go live with. But I was glad to hear you guys bonding a little bit.
Well, he's a very nice gentleman.
Anyway, y'all, thank you again. And I will see you next Monday night at 7 p.m. for more Bourbon Soak Live. Cheers. You're still here? It's over.